Hello everyone, welcome to the Financial Information channel. In this video, I am going to mention the top 5 stocks to watch during the month of May. But before I begin, my name is Marvin. I do videos about the stock market, personal finance, and how to make money online. So if you're interested, you can click on the subscribe and the notification bell. And also, I am going to mention briefly one of the companies that didn't make the cut. And that's where I'm going to start. That company is going to be Supernus Pharmaceutical. And that was one of the stocks that I mentioned in June of last year. Now, as you might have remembered, this company dropped over 23% in September. And the reason why the company dropped so much in a single day, Supernus Pharmaceutical discontinued 2 phase 3 products. And since the company is in the biosector, that causes a lot of fear. Now, one of the things that you have to keep in mind, Supernus expects their results for 2 products from the FDA by the first quarter of 2019. So it will be interesting to see how the price reacts during the next few months. But now let's begin with the number 5 stocks that I'm gonna watch during May. And that company is gonna be IPG Photonics. The company will report earnings on May 1st. And during the earnings, the consensus from analysts, they expect to have at least $1.80 and a revenue around 346 millions. And like I mentioned, it will report May 1st before the stock market opens. Now, in terms of the price at this moment, we can see in the screen the resistance and the support. You can see that it has a resistance around 230, another resistance around 235, and the last resistance around 239. And it has 3 key supports. The first one is around $222, the next one $219, and the last one around $214. Now, in terms of trends, you can see that the share price might go down quite a bit during the short term. However, most analysts agree that the intermediate and the long-term price is gonna go up. And the last time that the company reported earnings in February, the share price moved down over 7% in the same day. IPG short-term price might continue moving down since the company has a lot of exposure in China. Now, in terms of valuation, at this moment it has a price to earning around 35 and the forward price to earning around 24. And the quarterly earning growth is around 28%. And in terms of the balance sheet, it has over $1 billion in cash and around 49 million in debt, so they can pay the debt at any point. And IPG Photonics is mostly related to the fiber laser optics. You can check more of their business in a video that I did in September back here, and I think their business is great. Now let's go to the number 4 company that I'm gonna be watching during May. And the number 4 company is gonna be Shopify, and Shopify is in the same situation that IPG Photonics. The company will report earnings on May 1st before the market opens. Now, most analysts expect to have a loss of 5 cents, and the analysts expect the company to report around 201 million in revenue. Now, in terms of the short-term price for Shopify, we can see 3 resistance levels. The first one around $126, the next one around $129, and the next one around $132. And in terms of the support, we can see the support around $120, $117, and around $114 price. And I think those numbers are very conservative. The company is very emotional, especially when it reports earnings. The last time that Shopify reported earnings, it went up 0.28% during the same day. Now, in terms of valuation, Shopify has a forward price to earning around 245, and the quarterly revenue growth is over 70%. And in terms of the balance sheet, it has around 943 million in cash, and it has no debt. So it actually has a good balance sheet, but the forward price to earning is a little bit expensive at this moment. The most important thing if you're investing in Shopify is gonna be the guidance. And now for the number 3 company, it's gonna report earnings on May 2nd, and that is gonna be Square. Square will report earnings on May 2nd after the stock market close, and the consensus for analysts, the analysts expect around 6 cents in EPS and a revenue of 623 millions. And in terms of the short-term price that you can see in the screen, we can see the resistance around the 51, 52, and $53. And the 3 key supports, the first one around the 49, the next one around the 48, and the next one at the 47. Now when you look at the trends for Square, you can see that the short-term price might move down. However, the intermediate and the long-term price seems to go up based on the analysts' expectation. The last time that Square reported earnings, it went up 0.30% the same day. Now keep in mind that number is not correct because I believe that Square went up even more the next day that the stock market opened. Now in terms of the valuation, it has a forward price to earning around 66 and it has a good quarterly revenue growth around the 36%. And in terms of the balance sheet, it has 866 million in cash and around 365 million in debt. So it has a good positive balance sheet, which is kinda nice. Most likely you have been in the Apple Store, and the Apple Stores use the Square payment system. It makes it easier for a customer to make a payment using the Square system. And now for the number 2 company, it's a company that I started buying shares in February, and that company is called Ubiquiti Networks. Ubiquiti will report earnings on May 3rd before the stock market opens. Most analyst consensus expect the company to report an EPS of 82 cents, and they don't have an estimate for the revenue. Now in terms of the short-term price, you can see that it has a resistance around the $74, $75 price and $76 price. And it has 3 key supports. The first one around the $71 price, the next one around the $69, and the last one around the $68 price. In terms of the trends, most analysts expect the short-term price to move down for the company. However, most analysts agree that the intermediate and the long-term price is gonna go up in the next few quarters. And the last time that Ubiquiti reported earnings, the company share price moved down over 8%. During the last earnings, Ubiquiti actually accepted that the margins were decreasing. And Ubiquiti was in the news in 2017 after Andrew Left attacked the company. And Andrew Left was saying that the company was actually deceiving investors with its numbers. The company has some of the products that are related to the network technology, and those products are aimed to enterprise and consumers. In fact, I actually ended up buying a product from Ubiquiti, and that product is a Wi-Fi access point. Now, I actually was having issues with my internet connection, and this has been one of the best products that I had bought during the last few years. Before that, I had bought around 2 or 3 Wi-Fi routers over the span of 7 years. But enough about the products, let's take a look at the evaluation for Ubiquiti. And as you can see, it has a price to earning at this moment around the 39 and the forward price to earning around the 17. And in the quarterly revenue growth, it has a quarterly revenue growth of around 17.50%, and it has a balance sheet around 823 million in cash and around 467 million in debt. So it is actually nice to see Ubiquiti having a positive balance sheet. And just like I mentioned before, I ended up buying shares at the end of February, and at this moment I'm up over 20%. And during these earnings, the most important thing for me is gonna be the guidance for the next few quarters. I want to see how those margins move during the next few quarters. But now for the number 1 stock, and that stock is gonna be Disney. And Disney will report earnings on May 8th after the stock market close, and the consensus for analysts, they expect an EPS of $1.69 and the revenue around 14 billion. Now in terms of the short-term price, it has a 3 resistance. The first one around the $100 with 74 cents and 2 more resistance around $101. And in terms of the support, it has a support around the $99 and 2 key supports around a $98 price. And Disney is not a stock that moves a lot in a day. But now let's take a look at the trends. And in trends, you can see that the company has moved down in the short term and in the long term price. And a lot of analysts expect the company share price to continue moving down during the next few quarters. Now, the last time that Disney reported earnings, the share price moved down over 1.33% on the same day. Now, in terms of valuation, the price to earning at this moment is around 14 and the forward price to earning is around 13. Now, in terms of the quarterly revenue growth, it has a quarterly revenue growth around 3.80%. In terms of the balance sheet, it has a balance sheet around 4 billion in cash, and it has a huge debt around 26 billion in debt. And that might scare a lot of investors. However, the revenues from Disney are very diversified. In addition, they have a bunch of products and movies that are coming out in 2018 and 2019. And one of those movies is going to be The Avengers, that is going to be in theaters at the end of April. Disney expects to have a huge revenue from that movie. And there's going to be another Avengers movie that is coming out in 2019. In addition, Disney plans to release their own streaming service in 2019. So the future might not seem as bad as it seems at this moment. And those are going to be the top 5 stocks to watch during the month of May. Please leave in the comment sections below which of the following 5 stocks did you like the most. And this is going to be everything for this video. You can click here to see another video about the stock market, or right here at the corner to see another video from this channel. And remember, you can subscribe if you want to continue watching videos about the stock market, personal finance, and how to make money online. I am going to thank you once again for watching the video. Have an excellent day and take care, my friends.